Hi. Oh my gosh, where have you been?
Where have you been?
Tell us everything.
No, don't. We have something more important than that.
The Nintendo Switch 2.
We played it before everybody else in Canada.
Here's the proof. We went to Canada.
Big thanks to Nintendo for accommodating us and flying us out to Canada to try the Nintendo Switch 2. But don't think, Nintendo, that we're not gonna complain. We are going to give you today an honest, genuine review of the Nintendo Switch 2 so far and a lot of games. And we will be answering the #1 question everyone has. Has Mario Kart gone woke? Or did they let the cow you crashed into on Moo Moo Farm join the race because she's actually qualified to drive an AM FM radio?
But first, a word from our Westerosi sponsor. When Game of Thrones Kingsroad reached out to collab with us, my boyfriend looked at me and said, Sansa, we're going to the Vale. Okay, maybe not the Vale, but King's Landing, and the Wall for sure. During Season 4, that's the best one, unless you're Oberyn Martell. But this trial by combat will only make your head explode in all the ways an action-adventure RPG based on the Game of Thrones series and A Song of Ice and Fire novels should. For example, there's ice, and there's fire, plus, it wouldn't be an immersive open-world vacation to Westeros without everyone's favorite character, the drama. This is a brand new story that expands on all the political intrigue, steel-fueled ego checks, and complex relationships you love about House Lannister, House Bolton, and House...
I'm Samwell, by the way.
And Samwell.
Sam.
You play as the heir of House Tyre, a northern house caught in a web of alliance and betrayal so sticky it could have been spun by the spider himself. So choose your path wisely because every decision matters. There's also literal spiders, oh my god! So choose your class wisely because there's literal spiders, oh my god. Craft your own playstyle as a knight, a sellsword, or an assassin to level your way up a skill-based combat system, emphasizing strategic, human-against-human melee, and team up with friends in online multiplayer to wage war against the biggest villain in the game, House Unicorn. End their tyrannous reign! Because when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. But when you play Game of Thrones Kingsroad, you win or you die fighting a unicorn. Either way, you can do it for free now. Step into the world of Westeros and forge your legend. Anytime, anywhere.
Without further ado, we're gonna send it right over to our live correspondent in Canada, Shelby. Here it is!
Hi, Shelby.
The Switch 2! The first thing that they had us do, obviously because it's the coolest and the most exciting,
The big launch title.
the big launch title, Mario Kart.
This is where we actually got our hands on the plastic. What did you think?
Really nice. Do you hear this? It's just crunchy.
It is crunchy. I've always thought that.
The Switch 2 does not feel crunchy, does not feel crusty, feels like a premium product.
The ergonomics have been improved so much that you wonder how this was ever approved, honestly. Screen's way bigger, looks way better. It has a sweet curve to it, like the small of a woman's back.
She's curvy, mama.
The Switch 2's got a booty is what I'm saying.
She got a dumpy.
And speaking of booties, I did do a smell test. So here we go. The first Nintendo Switch 2 smell test right now.
What was the verdict?
I mean, did you see my face?
So we played Mario Kart and I had a blast. I
Yes.
really liked it. Now, they only let me play it in baby mode with the antenna erect,
Yeah, what's
which I
up with
didn't
that?
appreciate. But there's lots of new characters and new items and there's a lot of new stuff and tricks that you can do.
Yeah, I was assuming it was gonna be just more Mario Kart because they've really locked it in, like that gameplay feels so tight, you know? I was actually more surprised by it than I thought I would be when I suddenly Rodney Mullened up a rail and 50-50 grinded my way to victory.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Am I grinding?
Oh my god!
The cow is actually related to Bam Margera?
But the big new thing, obviously, is the inclusion of more game modes. They invited us into the main Mario Kart hall to compete against all the other nerds there.
Doug Bowser's here. Reggie's here.
Shelby said, you better handle this.
100cc.
That's baby stuff. In retrospect, perhaps I should have handled it.
Yeah, it was a new game mode.
He was not paying attention
What is the goal again?
and I realized this was not gonna go.
I just thought, it's Mario Kart. I mean, I was gonna drive.
In Knockout Tour, it is a battle royale, and
Yeah.
every lap, the last 4 players out of 24 players get eliminated.
I was racing and it was only lap 1 of 6, and I was like, no problem. I was hanging out in back just wrecking people with my loser weapons. And then the guy came up to me again, he said, if you don't get 20th place or higher, you're gonna be kicked out of the race. And I said, what? As I crossed the finish line?
Whoa, that was...
That's okay. And I lost. I had no idea.
I knew. I don't know what happened.
I hadn't slept. You're not supposed to drive a car if you haven't slept. They say it's
That's
just
true.
as bad as drinking and driving.
That's true.
And I had been drinking also. So I humiliated Shelby.
I am mortified. Matt has brought dishonor to our family.
And they said, you know what happens to losers? You gotta go to Donkey Kong Bonanza jail.
Okay, that is to preface Donkey Kong Bonanza. Here we go. Listen, Nintendo, this is the one tiny little part of the video where you might hear it and decide you never want to invite us anywhere again. We didn't super care for Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Now, is that because we're grown adults?
Yes.
Probably, mostly, I think, yeah. If you have like a 5-year-old kid and you really regret having that kid and you just wish he would shut up, you just put him in front of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
He's just gonna smash stuff all day.
Everything feels destructive, enough where you are constantly going, oh, whoa, I didn't know I was gonna dig through that. And
Right.
then you're like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill 2.
Oh! What the hell is this?
And if you like sounds that are like, oh,
There was a lot of like, ooh, banana. I think kids will love it. Donkey Kong's making a TikTok soon.
then they let us loose in the main hall to play whatever we wanted.
But what did he do? Where did he head straight towards?
I was tired, so I sat on the ground and played Hades.
A game he already has played.
This is why we're better reviewers than all the other reviewers, okay? Because when you get the Nintendo Switch 2, you're not gonna be standing there, having some Nintendo staff member brushing your hair and blowing kisses into your ear, okay?
I'll be up in
He
1
got in
second.
trouble.
You gotta get comfortable. So I was the only guy there to sit down on the ground like a child and feel what it would really be like to play Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day on Christmas.
There was a lot of new games there that we were really excited to try. So, Shelby, hello, live at the scene. Shelby, what do you see? All right, we are in the main hall and there are so many games to play. Maraca Physics Demo, Mario Party, Jamboree.
But games is games, okay? Let's talk about what you really want to hear about. What makes games on the Switch 2 different? Starting with putting a webcam in your child's bedroom.
Nintendo can see their faces anytime, anywhere.
How do we feel about that?
I feel great about it because the camera's really cute. I really liked the way that it worked when I saw people playing Mario Party and stuff.
If you were an alien looking in at this conference, you would think that Mario Party Jamboree was game of the decade. Look how much fun
Look
they're
at that
having.
person.
But what I'm saying is, will they continue finding good uses for the camera? Because you can't incorporate it into games in a mandatory way because people will be like, I don't have the camera, I can't do that.
No, but I think the Zoom meeting aspect of it will be enough for people.
Microsoft Teams, Skype,
My friends don't have
Zoom,
those
no.
things, you know?
Mario Party Jamboree is where all the business deals are going down. Enjoy the show, Nintendo. I'm not putting on pants just because you put a camera in my room. Okay, so more about the gimmicks. One of the big ones that everyone's talking about, Drag and Drive. That seems silly. I would say that was my favorite game at the show.
Me too.
That was so fun.
I loved it.
It's ARMS meets Rocket League.
It is. I have a feeling that it will be the kind of thing that people get really, really good at.
It's kind of hard. You start getting good at it and you're like, ooh, I did a cool,
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
"Yeet." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you shoot and you go, ooh.
Yeah.
And you don't gotta be on a table like this.
No,
you can do it on your lap.
Maybe at home, don't do it with your hands beneath the table because it might look compromised.
Confirmed, you can like scratch your ass and keep playing your game now.
This is what Nintendo's all about. New ways to play games.
The last thing this console's doing differently is a mouse mode.
All right, after playing the wheelchair game, I have to try Metroid Prime 4 in mouse mode because I think it's going to be a game changer.
It is an actual game changer.
The game has changed.
Nintendo literally just won
It is over for you bitches.
the console wars in the eyes of many, many, many people. Mouse
Me.
mode alone
Me.
would make me choose the Nintendo Switch over PlayStation or Xbox if I was going to play a first-person shooter, even if it had not as good graphics as
Hands
the PS5
down.
or whatever.
I can't say it loud enough for you what a big deal I think this is for
Yeah.
people like me. Like, it is so hard to learn how to do a controller.
No matter how many nipples I put on the sticks, I just can't do it.
Or you turn up the aim assist and then it's just like playing itself.
She is going to be playing Call of Duty by the end of June.
I'm thinking I'm back.
The Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. As we all know, they had to restart making Metroid Prime 4. Was that the right decision? I don't know, but I will tell you this. If the rest of Metroid Prime 4 is like what they showed me at the showcase, then it probably is not going to be your Breath of the Wild or your Mario 64 in the franchise. It definitely just felt like Metroid Prime.
But with mouse mode.
And they were like, put your straps on. I was like, you. So that was it. The exclusive hands-on experience and Just looking at that made me burp.
We did make sure to catch one very special behind the scenes look for you. So take it away, Shelby. We here at Girlfriend Reviews told you that we were gonna take you behind the scenes of this Nintendo Switch 2 event, and we meant that very literally. We are here behind the scenes. Mario Kart. Mario Party Jamboree. Here it is, the new Mario.